Family Guy is known for their cutaways, and while a video covering every single one would be way too long to make, we did scour through Reddit posts and a ton of episodes to find what we, and all of you, think are the 80 greatest cutaways in Family Guy history. Starting with the cutaway in Peter's Def Jam that let us know all about the dangers of not watching what you eat on a Disney cruise.
Ho ho! Ho ho! Don't eat the shrimp! Ho ho!
And that's the guy funding the whole boat ride, so you know it must be bad. Mix that with the seasickness and having to stare at Goofy's drunken face for a week, and you've got a personal hell on the high seas, my friend. And in Tales of a Third Grade Nothing, Family Guy parodied the viral video of the reporter who fell while crushing grapes. Back in the day, this video was the funniest collection of 10 pixels you could send to a person. The overconfidence, the fall, the constant groaning that sounds like a wounded seal, it all comes together to create one of the most iconic videos of the old internet, and Family Guy replicated it perfectly. And in Cootie and the Blowhard, Peter attends Chris's career day at school as a totally real ninja cop.
So that's how I became Quahog's first ninja cop.
He has all the stealth of a ninja and all the boredom of being a suburban cop with nothing to do most of the time. But that still doesn't put him above the law.
Oh no, my Chevy Cruze! Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Disgraceful. Turn in your badge and shurikens, officer. And in The Peanut Butter Kid, Peter shows how much of a provider for the family he is by hunting the family's food.
This'll look great in my study.
You might find this cruel, but there's actually a severe pizza overpopulation crisis right now, so hunting is encouraged. Think about it. How many hole-in-the-wall pizza joints or overexposed chain pizza restaurants do you see on a daily basis? They breed like rabbits, but taste much better.
I'm a hunter, but I'm a silly hunter.
And in Encyclopedia Griffin, we see what a date between Peter and Lois looks like, though it just involves Peter eating too many hot wings.
Why did you let me do this, Lois? Why?
Okay, Peter, I gotta take the kids to school now.
Look, he was probably just preparing for his appearance on Hot Ones. Granted, that wouldn't happen until 10 years after this episode premiered, but have you seen the sauces they eat on that show? It's never too early to start training. And in Mom's the Word, the show gives us a little glimpse into what happens when two online predators catfish themselves.
My name's Jenny. Wanna come over to my place and help me move?
Can never trust anyone on the internet. That's why I always ask for a birth certificate, social security number, and a copy of their blood work whenever I talk to someone. I'm living proof that you can be too safe.
Hey, you're not a 12-year-old girl.
Neither are you, Jenny.
But every now and then, people are honest on the internet. The guy said he needed help moving, and while the other guy may not have the strength of a 12-year-old girl, he'll probably do.
You know, this isn't a whole lot of stuff. We can probably knock this out in an hour.
And in Farmer Guy, Peter and Lois decide to become exhibitionists on their date night.
You remember when we did it in the bathroom at that restaurant? I can't believe we're actually gonna do this.
As if he didn't have enough to fear when using a public toilet. But maybe Peter was a bit too excited because he seemed to mistake Lois for someone else.
Peter, I haven't left yet.
You sick.
Ah, I can see the confusion. Actually, no, I can't. Surely Peter must have realized that some of the parts he was working with didn't match the intended model. And in Lego My Mego, we learn of Peter's very persuasive side gig.
Give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money.
I didn't realize that Peter was a man of refined taste like that. The way he mangles the strings is surely what John Violin, the inventor of the violin, had in mind for the instrument all those years ago. And in Lottery Fever, Peter shows his knowledge of sushi restaurants, saying that the most important part of them is that you yell at people when they come in.
Hajime Mashite! Here comes our black guy!
His multiculturalism sure is astounding. Sure, he may have numerous health code violations, but a restaurant isn't about the food. It's about the gibberish yelled at you that makes those $25 rolls all worth it. And in Baby You Knocked Me Out, Peter gives his take on anime after getting blitzed off of a few bottles of bourbon.
Well, I just can't understand any of this. Everybody in Japan is either a 10-year-old girl or a monster.
Kinda seems like an overgeneralization, but I'm sure most things look like that after a few bottles of Jack. Then again, I don't think he's spitting total lies. And in Family Guy, Quagmire gets a bit too presumptuous when he hears about a Family Guy side character getting a spin-off.
Have fun with your stupid giant chicken jokes and your Conway Twitter. Hey, why is there a moving truck outside Cleveland's house?
A bit quick to burn those bridges before there's even a pilot, aren't we, Glenn? Maybe one day you'll end up getting your own show, but good luck finding a financier that's gonna want to back a show about you.
Now can I have my own show, Peter?
Quagmire, you're a
And in Back to the Woods, Peter shows off his ill-thought-out talent at performing magic for the blind.
Is this your card?
I don't know.
Was it a red card?
I don't know what red is.
Well, you're no fun. Why even volunteer if you aren't going to fully envelop yourself in the magic of the show? Your seeing eye dog needs to get much better at event planning for you. And also in Back to the Woods, Brian decides to prank Stewie with one of the internet's most notorious videos. I'm not even sure I can utter the name of said video, but let's just say it involves two women who are enthusiastically sharing with each other. What are they sharing? Listen, guys, it's better that you don't know. Just go outside and enjoy the bliss of innocence, why don't you?
Oh, can you imagine if two dudes did that? Oh my god, that'd be even worse.
And in Peter's Daughter, the show gives a voice to the iconic xenomorph from the Alien franchise.
Stop. Not so fast, y'all. You think you can just up and run away? You crazy.
I thought the alien having Bruce's voice would make it funnier, but I actually think it just makes it more unsettling. Look, if you're gonna crack my skull with your mini mouth, just do it. Don't talk to me with a tone that sounds like you're gonna give me a massage beforehand.
I like to eat you with my little mouth, too.
Oh, now y'all get back up inside me, little mouth.
And in the Young Parent Trap, Family Guy parodies one of their own iconic gags, this time setting it in Africa.
Run home with these expired military condoms and Dugu. Run and make sure they use them.
Didn't even know the military had those. They really do be cooking up everything in Area 51, huh? And if you remember how this bit went back in the older episodes, then you probably know where this one's going. And in Pal Stewie, Stewie shows us what it's like spending a day with a very bored and very drunk housewife.
Mom, come look! Mom!
I'll be right there, Stewie. Where's the Bush vodka?
Dang, she's so drunk that she doesn't remember that Bush doesn't make vodka, they make beer. But what can you expect from a woman who hides her vodka in a bush and... oh, I get it now.
Hi, Stewie. You playing with your kitty cat?
And in the finer strings, we recount the tale of King Arthur pulling the sword from the stone, but with a bit more emphasis on how the stone felt about it.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
I guess 500 years of having your one hole blocked up does call for a little bit of release. Kinda just undercuts Arthur's whole journey though. Pulling out the sword was cool, but you remember that farting rock? Now that's a fairy tale.
This is your big moment and I'm ruining it.
And in an I'm Joyce Kinney, Peter tries his hardest to give Consuela his phone number, but she's, well, Consuela.
40.
440.
No, I was just repeating the 4.
I'd say she's trying her hardest, but I can see the light of effort left her eyes long ago. I actually think she just gets some kind of sick satisfaction out of wasting people's time.
How many ones?
No, I'm not giving you quantities of the numbers, I'm giving you the numbers. 1125.
And in Fox in the Men House, we see Peter struggling to understand the core fundamentals of being a firefighter.
Sorry, first day, still learning.
If he can't even get gravity right, then I'm not sure he's cut out for this. Heck, he does everything so backwards that he's probably the one starting all the fires around town. And in Saving Private Brian, Peter does his best to cover his farts with a cough, but still needs to work on his timing.
I know there's been some concern about nutrition. We've had complaints about the soda machines.
See, you'd have to have some stellar ears to deduce where all that farting was coming from. Or just a pair of halfway decent eyes. Keep at it, Peter. The art of stealth farting does not come easy.
No, I'm good.
And in Friends Without Benefits, we learn that Peter is actually pretty scared of Chris, and it's clear to see why.
Who's there?
Go back to sleep, Dad.
This might actually be worse than any nightmare that your psyche can create at the edge of your bed. At least the sleep paralysis demon isn't trying to stroke my cheek during his little visits.
You're very precious to me.
And in Halloween on Spooner Street, Peter gets separated from Lois in the grocery store.
Are you okay?
No, I came in with my wife and now I can't find her.
I remember being told to find a store employee if I ever got separated from my parents when I was younger. Unfortunately, my social anxiety wouldn't allow that, so I just started living in the store. I belong to the aisles now.
I'm Lois. Oh, for God's sakes, Peter.
Yay, Lois!
And in Passenger Fatty 7, Peter shows us what his remake of Inside Out might look like.
I'm joy.
I'm sadness.
I'm anger.
I'm disgust.
I'm poo.
Didn't know poo was an emotion, but I guess we understand which one's been piloting Peter's brain all this time. A real thinker with his sphincter, that one. And in the 2,000-year-old virgin, we get to see what a great dad the Tasmanian devil is. Interesting age to be telling your kid all of that, but hey, it's your kid, do what you want with them. But this guy's looking more like a Tasmanian angel to me. Maybe if they had that name, they wouldn't be endangered. And in Screams of Silence, the story of Brenda Q, Peter briefly recounts his time working with Santos and Pasquale on his fishing boat.
They were like male consuelas. It was a mistake making them Portuguese, though. People don't even know what a Portuguese is.
And judging by the following image, neither did Peter. Those guys don't look like they'd be a good hand on a boat, but dang, do they look like the kind of vibe I want to have.
Me and my brain, huh? And we're just getting started.
And in Family Guy, Peter compares his happiness to a pig among guinea pigs.
All right, I think we're all in agreement. I'm in charge here.
Just let the guy have his moment. He'll be breakfast in a few days, so let him have his day in the sun. Not entirely sure what kind of commands a pig can give guinea pigs, though. And honestly, we might be too frightened to want to learn more. And in Hot Shots, Peter's enhancement surgery doesn't go as he expected it to.
I wanted to hang down to my knees. They moved up my knees.
The monkey's paw strikes again. Looks like they also retroactively opted him out of ever being able to use a urinal again. That's not really a bright side though, is it? Yeah, I hope insurance covered most of that. And in Doggone, Peter learns the hard way that you shouldn't hog the swing set like a 5-year-old.
Daddy, I want to turn on the swing set.
No.
But you've gone for 2 turns.
It's a wonder that thing isn't disconnecting from the ground with every swing. But don't worry, Stewie. The karmic gods do not take kindly to such selfishness.
Ah, get Mom! 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 Mom!
And Stewie Loves Lois shows us that the down on the bayou folk might not exactly be the nicest.
Excuse me, do you know how to get to town?
Yeah, it's back the way you came.
Big talk from a guy who has a hand up his butt 24/7. Still, this is a pretty shocking revelation. How do you work with people of every single color and still find a way to be racist? And in Peter's Sister, Stewie gives us a pitch on why we should be drinking energy drinks, but his dilated pupils tell a different story.
Monster energy drink. What is it? I don't know, but it's free from this truck that stopped outside your work.
And a single sip of those things would legit put me in cardiac arrest. I'm not sure exactly what is in a can of those, but after trying one, something tells me it might not be from this plane of existence.
Monster energy. Put it in your body and ask questions later. It's green, so it's nature.
And in Sibling Rivalry, Peter recounts the issues he had when he, and I quote, froze his nuts.
No! No! Bad squirrel! Those are my nuts! My nuts!
I'd be careful, Peter. That squirrel has survived natural phenomena that has reshaped the earth for those acorns. Plus, that's a saber-toothed squirrel. You really want to go toe-to-toe with that?
Ah! No! Oh God, no! My nuts! My nuts!
And the episode Peter's Progress lets us listen in on the answering machine of acclaimed Die Hard and Harry Potter actor Alan Rickman.
You've reached Alan Rickman at 555-0122.
And it proves to be a little less Hans and a little more Snape. We love the sound of his voice, and he must too, because he even calls himself so he can hear himself.
Alan, it's me again. Remember that turtle joke for the party.
And another actor who must love the sound of his voice is Robert Loggia, who takes his sweet time spelling his name out in Peter's Two Dads.
R as in Robert Loggia. O as in, oh my God, it's Robert Loggia.
Yeah, we all know how to spell Robert, my man. But you absolutely need to do this for your last name. Go ahead, without Googling it, try to spell this guy's last name. First person to do it wins the spelling bee for today. And in Take My Wife, Peter brings his museum habits home with him.
Excuse me, we do ask that you don't touch anything.
You should know better, Lois. Does this look like a living room to you? Would a living room have a floor so shiny that the sunlight bouncing off of it makes it impossible to watch TV? Show some decorum, please. And in Customer of the Week, Lois makes a very charitable donation to give a cup of coffee to a soldier overseas.
Hey, here's your free cup of coffee from a lady in Rhode Island. What?
Looks like Starbucks owes that guy a Purple Heart. And Hannah Banana tells the tale of the most successful duelist of all time, Sir Henry Giant Hole in the Torso Wickenshire.
Aha! Right through me! Prepare for returned fire, Sir Joseph Broadfront!
Yeah, this was like a brick challenging a fish to a swimming contest. That's why you gotta go zombie rules in a duel and always aim for the head. Is it less convenient? Yes. Does it make it harder? Also yes. Will it make you look super cool? Not cooler than a guy with a donut-shaped body. And Jungle Love showed us that the relationship issues of today weren't all that different from the problems of the prehistoric era.
So what? So I have some paintings.
Is this how you want me to look?
Oh, come on, Karen.
I guess it's a little heartening to know that self-consciousness and marital disputes have been experienced all throughout history, so we're not alone in that. But it also kind of sounds like we'll never figure out how to get over them either. Well, as the cavemen used to say, ugh.
Screw you, Gary!
Oh yeah, if you did that more often, maybe I wouldn't need these paintings!
And in the D in Apartment 23, Peter shows off his hack for ordering shepherd's pie at any restaurant.
I'll have the shepherd's pie.
I'm sorry, but that's not on the menu.
Well, do you have potatoes?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't hide behind your menu like a coward. Not when Peter knows every ingredient of a shepherd's pie down to the last molecule. And if you happen to have all the ingredients, then you better go find a flock of sheep because you're making a shepherd's pie.
Lightsaber? Remember when we did Star Wars?
And in Throw It Away, the family learns of Peter's shocking corn addiction.
God, what I wouldn't do to that. What? No, it's not even mine. I just clicked on it.
Can't a man watch butter seductively melting over corn in the privacy of his open, brightly lit kitchen? And in case you're wondering if it could get any worse, then you don't understand just how dark the corn industry can get.
It was baby corn.
And in A Fistful of Meg, we see how natural selection plays out with a group of crows on a wire.
Corn? Really? Wow, I could go for some corn.
That's why you shouldn't take a stranger's word on anything. They're all out to get you and either hurt or scam you in some way. I'm a very well-adjusted person, as you can tell.
You're dark, Raj.
I don't care.
And in Brian Writes a Bestseller, we see the seedy world involved with getting a book published at Penguin Publishing.
Well, if you want to be in black and white's gotta be in you.
Yep, yeah, we get the joke. You don't have to keep looking at us like that. Glad to see the animal kingdom is filled with just as much scum as the human world. I bet you could scrounge up enough money to pay a leopard seal to take care of this problem. And in The Father, the Son, and the Holy Fawns, Peter bites the bullet and realizes he's the one who'll have to object at a wedding.
Really? Nobody's gonna speak up. I'm the one who's gonna have to say it.
You wouldn't have to tell me twice. Objecting at a wedding is one of my dreams. Not out of love or lust, I just want to see what happens afterwards. Hopefully they'll still let me hang around for cocktail hour.
Genital warts!
And in the episode Thanksgiving, we see just how far Peter went with faking his own death. Looks like a pretty somber affair. Though I have to believe the rest of the town is partying like when the Wicked Witch of the West was killed. But why did Peter go through all this trouble anyway?
No dentist appointment for this guy.
And in The Movement, Peter's Nike commercial takes quite an unexpected turn.
Don't do 1 push-up. Do 100. Don't run 1 mile. Run a marathon.
Seems pretty standard. Though we don't remember most Nike commercials encouraging you to have a secret second family, a secret third family, and then killing all those families. Just do it isn't just a slogan. It's the devil on your shoulder, whispering in your ear, telling you to give in to your darkest urges. And, you know, buy shoes and stuff.
Don't just let anyone have their closure by apologizing. Send a message that you're not afraid of hell.
And in Candy Quahog Marshmallow, Peter potentially scars callers for life with his dirty hotline ads.
Do you like to party with hot girls?
What about horsing around with fat guys?
Hey, let's leave the horses out of this. They've been through enough as it is, mister. Hands down, this would be the most regrettable 50 cents a minute I've ever spent. But gotta support small businesses, so I'll keep calling.
I'll be on the toilet wearing a t-shirt that's so long I have to hold it under my chin while I wipe.
And in Grumpy Old Man, Peter and Lois get down and dirty with a little phone sax.
Are you ready?
You better believe it.
Nope, that wasn't a typo. Something about giving your significant other a little Kenny G over the phone really gets them going. And you won't believe just how saxy it can get.
Now your turn, and do it how I like.
Okay.
And in No Chris Left Behind, Stewie gets a job following fat people around with a tuba.
That'll be $60.
In this economy? I remember the days when this service used to cost half that. Dang inflation. But maybe Stewie can find some support for his work inside the family. And in North by North Quahog, the intricacies of how to sit down completely escape Peter's mind. You win this round, Laws of Nature. So quick, so simple, so stupid. One of the greatest of all time in our opinion. And in Inside Family Guy, Peter decides to pursue his artistic passion of painting explicit artwork featuring the Minions.
Did you have any questions about the artist?
Several, such as why, and how could you, and is there an uncensored version out there somewhere? No particular reason, I just don't believe art should be censored is all. And theoretically, how much would the uncensored version cost? And in Peter's Problem, we get to hear a record store worker gush over how much he loves a certain classical artist.
Oh, Debussy. I love Debussy. Sometimes all I can think about is Debussy.
Glad to see someone's out here celebrating the famous pianists, because after all, Debussy and pianists go together so well. Sometimes you can even put other pianists together. There really is no right or wrong way to enjoy Debussy with other pianists. Are we doing this right?
Just make sure you finish on the Bach. Never finish on Debussy.
And with two Brians, Peter brings out the sass with a new set of acrylic nails.
Hey, LaRonda. No, I got 4 people on hold, but I can't talk.
He's really got that fleek on. That's how you say that, right? People still say that, right? Wait, don't click away. We can be relevant. 6'7". You guys like 6'7". And then You May Now Kiss the Guy Who Receives, we learned that Popeye's iconic look is actually a grave health issue.
These growths on your forearms, they're giant tumors.
Oh dear.
Another victim of the nothing but spinach diet. Popeye was just a pawn used by Big Spinach to spread their wet leaves to the masses, and now he's paying the price. We really need to take better care of our veterans.
I'd say about 2 months.
And in No Chris Left Behind, Peter resorts to selling butt scratchers to make a little extra money.
Get your butt scratcher here! Butt scratcher!
Butt scratcher!
Butt scratcher!
Butt scratcher!
Butt scratcher!
There is no stronger universal language than a couple of guys who just want to scratch their butt in public. It transcends background, culture, and society. We are all one under the hand of the butt scratcher. And in You Can't Do That on Television, Peter has quite a different interpretation of the activity of watching paint dry.
Nice.
Oh, the things Peter would do to that can of paint kinda makes us uncomfortable. Guy would literally rather fantasize about watching paint getting out of the shower than spend time with his kids. And in Back to the Pilot, we get to see what goes on outside a cutaway while one's going on.
Wait, what are they doing? I don't know, they're just standing there like zombies. Do you think they're all right?
How exciting. Look, it was the early days, everyone was nervous to screw up the shot, so they all just opted to stand there while the cutaway played out. Great for continuity's sake, but still weird to be on the outside looking in.
Oh, they're setting up cutaways. Oh my god, is that what we did back then?
And in Boys Do Cry, we're given a great visualization of the term as stubborn as a mule.
Nope. Sorry, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose.
What? Of course he was.
No, he wasn't. You lose.
Honestly, he's probably just getting Footloose and Dirty Dancing mixed up. We don't blame him, but he's still living up to his breed being referred to as asses. And like most arguments on the internet, it just ends with nonsensical screaming.
No!
And in Halloween on Spooner Street, Brian is bested by the jerk dog that lives in the mirror.
Hey, get out of here! This is my house!
And before you think Brian is just another dumb dog, don't forget that Peter falls for the same reflection too. For both of their dignity's sake, they might have to just go full vampire mode and get rid of all of their mirrors.
Did you do this, you son of a...
And in Model Misbehavior, we see Cookie Monster struggling to make it through rehab.
What are these?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know how they got there.
You can take the monster out of the Sesame Street, but you can't take the Sesame Street out of the monster. He needs to know it's for his own good if he ever wants to see his cookie wife and cookie children again.
You guys are man! You're freaking
And in P-Tarded, we get to see how a fire truck hunts in its natural habitat.
A solitary killer, the fire truck stalks its prey.
Look at that majestic beast. We never should have tried to domesticate these things all those years ago. After all, it was all that crossbreeding that gave us the abomination that is the beetle.
The fire truck can consume 8 times its body weight.
And in Total Recall, Peter can absolutely not get sick right now.
Sweetie, maybe you need to go home.
I'm not going home. I cannot get sick right now. I have way too much to do.
You just know Peter's running that nondescript office like the Navy. Good on him for trying to get his work done, but that couldn't be me. A single cough comes out of me and I'm calling out the rest of the week. I'm a champion of public health first and foremost.
You did this to me!
And in Take My Wife, Peter details the glorious battle between the Owls and the Hornets.
It was a brutal war. It was a bitter war. And most importantly, it was a visually spectacular war.
Well, dang, this looks like it's about to put Game of Thrones to shame. Well, Game of Thrones already did that to itself, but now there'll be even more shame. I'd quite like to see this fight.
I'm being told this would be very expensive to animate, so instead here's some stock footage of an old plane trying to take off.
Well, good enough, I guess. And in Papa Has a Rollin' Son, Peter shows just how comforting he was as an OBGYN.
We don't want to know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not breathing.
Well, don't just stand there, Doc. Get in there and perform CPR. Lady, get your legs in the stirrups. Am I the only one around here who knows how to doctor? And in Steroid, Stewie fantasizes about how hot it would be to make a dirty call to a blind girl.
You sound hot. What are you wearing?
I don't know.
But see, that just adds to the mystery of it all. She could be anybody. Even she's unsure about that part. And in Stewie, Chris, and Brian's Excellent Adventure, Chris looks into his future to see himself as a creepy bus driver.
You have a beautiful child, Mrs. Roberts.
Forget background checks, we gotta start doing vibe checks before we hire anyone for a job involving children. Like, if you look like you can't be within 100 feet of a school, then you probably shouldn't be working for one. And in Chick Cancer, we see that things aren't always cheesy for Chester Cheetah.
God, there is no drummer better than Neil Peart!
This is the unfortunate fate of all those hip and cool mascots from the 1990s. There's a reason why you don't see Cool Spot these days, and it's not just because I don't know a single person who drinks 7-Up anymore. And in No Chris Left Behind, an injured horse is damned if he decides to let himself get sent to the glue factory.
So, how's that leg doing?
Great, never better.
He's lying, but shouldn't even an injured horse be allowed to live? Some humans don't think so this horse will have to earn his freedom by force.
How's your leg, huh? How's your leg? You ready to race, huh?
And in The Fat Guy Strangler, Peter reflects on the pain of being with a rhino that doesn't love you anymore.
Why wouldn't you look at me during?
That's a very specific situation to be in. Can't say I relate, but could it be that because of that horn on his face, it makes it impossible to make eye contact during that? I don't know, man. Why am I trying to find deeper meaning in this cutaway? What has my life become? And in Steroids, Peter's turn of phrase gets taken a little more literally than anticipated.
I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. I misspoke.
Happy to see that Peter isn't a selfish lover, but could we have maybe seen evidence that didn't come from a complete affront to all nature? What would be the fun in that? And in No Chris Left Behind, Stewie tries to follow up William Wallace's iconic war speech from Braveheart.
And let's not forget the tax they levied on properties that are an abutment of church lands.
Cool. Or is that not cool? I really have no comprehension of what he just said. Somebody please tell me if this is worth getting my head chopped off for or not. And in Grumpy Old Man, the show gives us insight into how every pizza place builds their salads.
First, you throw in the whole head of lettuce.
Even the hard-to-eat white part at the bottom?
That's what the people want.
Is it though? The salad he's making does sound like an abomination, but really it's on the customer for ordering a salad from a pizza restaurant. You're already ingesting hundreds of calories. You really think that salad's gonna make a difference?
Well, we got these hot peppers, but you can't really eat them.
No problem. Dump them all in.
And in Take a Letter, Achilles and his friend discuss where their one weakness lies on their bodies. We, of course, know about the Achilles heel.
That's the only part that can be injured. How about you, Testicles?
It's the same. It's similar.
Well, if his weakness is in any way name-related, then I think all men must be descendants of Testicles. But now I gotta wonder how he dipped all of himself except for that part into the river Styx. And in The Man with Two Brians, we see the relationship Abraham Lincoln had with his neighbor.
I noticed your lawn's getting a little high.
Yeah, I used to have a guy for that.
Sounds like a skill issue to me. If you can't keep your lawn trimmed, might I suggest moving into an apartment? They had those back then, right? Maybe if they did, Lincoln would have gotten to see the end of that play. And in Peter Griffin, Husband, Father, Brother, Peter decides to try narrating his own life.
I walked into the kitchen and sat down at the table. I looked with a grimace at the questionable meal Lois had placed in front of me.
Some guys just love the sound of their own voice. Not sure this little exercise is going to lead to Peter writing the next great novel, but it will get him a pretty nice concussion.
I awoke several hours later in a daze.
And in Sibling Rivalry, Lois and Peter try their hand at role-playing, though they both go in two very different directions.
I'm a bad girl.
I'm a paladin with 18 charisma and 97 hit points. I can use my Helm of Disintegration.
Well, that's just silly. How do you get a paladin all the way to 97 hit points without bothering to get your stats closer to 20? I also don't think the Helm of Disintegration is a real D&D item either. Look, if you're gonna try to roleplay, at least do your research first.
Oh. Okay, then I'm a black guy.
And in Our Idiot Brian, we learned that you can't sneak a centipede past a millipede.
Wait a minute.
Didn't realize the bug racism was so prevalent. Aren't we all just bugs on God's green earth? Who cares if someone has 100 more feet than us? We should love them as the monstrous creatures they are.
You're an imposter!
And in Tom Tucker, The Man in His Dream, we get to see Tom Tucker in his starring role as Michael Myers in Halloween 4.
Good evening, I'm Michael Myers. I have enormous psychological problems, and I'm going to take them out on you.
Kinda see why his Hollywood career didn't take off after this. Didn't understand the most fundamental part of playing the character. Maybe playing the Jeepers Creepers guy would have been more his speed. And in Petergeist, Peter makes the wrong decision by agreeing to go hunting with Dick Cheney.
So, you all set to go hunting?
This, of course, parodies a real occurrence where the former vice president accidentally shot someone during a hunt. An accident. Sorry, but when your first name is that, I'm inclined to believe you probably act like one too.
Sorry, I thought you were a deer.
And in the former life of Brian, we get a glimpse into the wonderful world of Canadian Alcatraz.
Can I go out through here? Just be back by bedtime, okay.
Canadians really are the nicest people in the world. Even their deranged murderers ask permission before they kill you. And of course, other Canadians are too polite to say no, which is basically how murders happen over there. What a fun country. And in Stewie Goes for a Drive, Peter has an interesting response to being invited to join a book club.
It's my book club, Peter. Come, join us.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's the only way to get out of being made to read romantasy. What's that? Your book is about the chosen one falling in love with the most powerful guy ever? That just keeps getting better after the 100th time. And in 3 Acts of God, we actually get to see Peter planning out his cutaways for the rest of the week.
My great uncle wears a ski hat all the time, Griffin, will be followed by Nick Nolte's handkerchief.
It's like meal prepping, but for non sequiturs. It looks like he's got himself a mix of puns, hyper-specific characters, and general tomfoolery ready for the week. And if all else fails, it looks like he's got a ringer with Eddie the Ostrich in the back to let us know when to laugh.
Now where are the gays?
Over here.
No, the really cartoony gays.
Yoo-hoo! But what's your favorite Family Guy cutaway? Did we forget to include it in our list? Let us know down in the comments, and if you liked what you saw here and want to see more, don't forget to leave a like on this video and hit the subscribe button to catch even more Family Guy videos.